ice on me, how should I chill? Scope in your mouth, watch how I know how I'm rocking, you know how I'm built. Still in the trenches, we out in the field. If she in her bag, then it's Prada Chanel. The is fake, but she poppin' for real. Still that way. Run up if you feel that way. You can get this work, but the work don't ship, cause it really don't feel that way. Seen a whole lot of rapping and a whole lot of get like ice. Yesterday's price is not today's price. Talk to me nice. You know I'm an Eastside, big TD, step a whole rep. That top dog since top ramen now, steak and lobster with a shrimp. Fat, big, put a ribbon on it, get you give. Rap, that, real, never switch that. Came a long way. Came a long way, came a long way, came a long way, been a long way, real long way, and it's still that way, still that way, still that way, still broad day, live that way, feel that way, came a long way, real long way, been a long way, real long way, and it's still that way, 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 feel that way.
This is the NFL on EA Sports, and we are in the Pacific Northwest at Lumen Field in Seattle, Washington. Today we've got an intriguing NFC matchup lined up here, as it'll be the Detroit Lions taking on the Seattle Seahawks. Here's the kicker, Jason Myers, to get this one started. And off we go from Seattle. Here comes Khalif Raymond from his end zone. And the decision to bring it out, not a... He's tackled at the 15.
Let's go now. Hey, smash Bronco. Ready.
Drive starts with a run from Gibbs. And from the 15, they're able to work this up to the 20 for a pickup of a handful.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
From the 20, here's a 2nd and 5. Back to throw. Hooker. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Third play here, this opening drive as they're up against a 3rd and 5. Looking to throw. Hooker. And this one is incomplete.
And that might have been a situation where even though you don't hit on the deep throw, you at least put in the defender's minds early in the game that we're going to press the ball deep against your secondary. and that can have a ripple effect on how they function throughout.
This is taken at the 23. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
No ball, no ball.
A little jet sweep to start the drive. 16 yards right off the bat for a 1st down.
Well, I sure wouldn't be surprised if we see more of this as this game goes on, because we know they like to use their wideouts either on quick throws or on jet sweeps like what we just saw there. And to say that that one worked well, partner, that's stating the obvious.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. He's into space past the 25. Another 1st down there as this one goes for 25. From the red zone now, Smith. Flushed out right. And that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
But that was an interesting look there, because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them. And I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try it.
And he is in for a Seattle touchdown. Ken Walker, an 18-yard touchdown run. And the Seahawks will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Myers connects on the PAT, and that makes the score 7-0. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. No run back here for Raymond. This will be a touchback. Offense ready to kick off their next drive. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity, because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity, nothing big happened, but then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
Jaron Reed. What a play by him. That's going to go as a loss of 13.
And the Seahawks add a couple of extra DBs going with the dime look here.
Indeed, 6 on the field. Operating from the gun. Hooker. Man open. It's St. Brown. He's got it. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion. And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time and a 1st down. Pretty ideal right there. Keep it yourself, get the 1st down, and get the heck out of bounds.
And knowing him, I believe he's thinking, I can get a few more yards if I just lower my shoulder. But he also hears that second voice in his head, his head coach, and probably his agent too, saying, get out of bounds, man, don't do that.
On 1st down, Hooker. That's caught inside the 20. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. 33 yards that time. Gibbs straight ahead. And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays. The first drive this unit had, they punted. This drive, much more polished, just looking crisper, aren't they, moving the ball?
Maybe the first drive was a little bit of a wake-up call. Probably a little bit angry that they had to punt the ball away the first time they had it. Got motivated, got to the sideline, said, okay, let's not let that happen here as we take over again.
They'll run with Cupz. And that'll move him a little closer as he takes it from the 7 down to the 4-yard line.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side. He's counting on the big guys up front to escort him in, and they couldn't create any kind of space for him, could they?
Yeah, didn't get the push they needed. The second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
They've given him some different looks here defensively in the early going. He's only hit 2 of his first 5 passes. With a big third down coming up, he's hoping he's got a play dialed up that can take advantage of whatever the defense throws at him.
3 tight ends up front here, 3rd and goal. Off the play fake. Hooker, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line.
We'll give some credit to the defense. They forced the big play, knocked the ball free from him, but it's a cardinal sin by the quarterback. Know where you are on the field, and he just gave up at a minimum 3 points.
And instead of getting down, takes the contact. The turnover ensues. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. They'll come up on a 2nd and 4 now from the 40-yard line. Here's Smith. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Cameron Sutton in there to bury him for a loss of 11.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw up a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. That's caught inside the 20. It's a big play there for Seattle. 59 yards. A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Geno now to throw. Out to the right, he gets it to Lockett. Touchdown! Tyler Lockett from 13 yards out. And the Seahawks go up by 2 touchdowns. Extra point up and through by Myers. And that'll make the score 14-0. And for the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And it'll come out to the 25 as Raymond will elect not to bring it out. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hand.
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. The previous play, they barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Now they pick up over 30 yards. So the big play gets them across midfield now for 1st and 10. Operating from the gun. Hooker, he gets this out wide to Cupz. So nothing doing there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. The throw over the middle taken in, and that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 22-yard line. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Read option, this is Cupz. And not a whole lot lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Back to throw. Hooker. Now that'll be caught by St. Brown. And the Lions are going to be set up with a 1st and goal coming up as they get him down at the 6-yard line.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
On 1st and 10, here's Cupz. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on 1st down, holding them to a short gain.
And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Lions are back within a score. Riley Patterson now for the extra point. And that one makes it 14-7.
Makes the score Seahawks 14, Lions 7.
This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. Here's Moore. He will return it. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24.
At their own 24-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. So for this offense, Charles, remember drive 1 made it to the end zone. Drive 2 resulted in a touchdown as well. Now they'll try to make it 3 for 3.
Yeah, and you know, they told us all week that this was the plan and this is what they wanted to execute. But did they really believe it would happen this well, this efficiently? I know they'll take it. And afterwards, they'll say, there's never a doubt in our minds we were going to be successful in this one.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Throwing now is Geno. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
Normally being a big-bodied receiver plays to their advantage downfield. Go up and make the catch, take the hit, and pick up yardage. But in this case, the hit was timed really well and popped it free from his grasp.
And now we'll hook up downfield on 2nd down. Loose inside the 30. And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. Jackson Smith-Njigba. 64 yards. And the Seahawks will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Myers connects on the PAT. And it's now 21-7. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. Fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And with a little under a minute remaining, they may try to put something together here just to try to cut into that deficit. And the Seahawk defense gets to him and they bring him down. Darrell Taylor, that is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half. Sacks a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Into a sea of defenders, unintercepted. Picked off by Jamal Adams. Inside the 20. An unfortunate sequence there, trying to get points before intermission, but now the interception, and their opponents have a chance to possibly pad their lead.
Yeah, they had an opportunity there, and they weren't able to capitalize on it, and that's something that could come back and haunt them later. They're begging their defense now to keep them from scoring before the half ends.
Walker. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. Back at the 2 now. Here's 2nd and goal. Again, Walker. And they'll get him down just shy of the goal line at about the 1. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Now they'd really like to make the short field pay off. We'll see if they can, but this is 3rd and goal. Play action. It's Smith. Steps away. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Geno Smith in the final seconds of the first half. And the Seahawks would extend their lead here just before halftime. Extra point up and through by Myers. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. 4 seconds, all that remain here this first half as the kick gets away. Here's Raymond bringing it out. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. 1 second, all that remains. Well, indeed, trying to run it out as they start on the ground. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth ready for quarter number 3. The Seahawks with the advantage, and they get the football first as the second half is underway. On the return, it's Eskridge, and he'll bring it out. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards.
At their own 21-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Well, this offense, this team, they are rolling right now, Charles. They've scored on 3 straight possessions. You look at this. There he goes, right side. Across midfield. He's on his way. And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. Kenneth Walker with his second touchdown of the afternoon. And the Seahawks come right out of the locker room and score here in the opening minute of the third quarter. Myers connects on the PAT, and that'll increase their lead to 28. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. Here's Raymond bringing it out. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover. They want to try and put points on the board.
And they start things off with a carry by Gibbs here. Running free at the 45. He'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 76 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Hooker. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jamal Adams. And the Seahawks are going to take over at their own 11-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Well, partner, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
Now Geno. That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked off by Will Harris. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he rifles one incomplete.
That was nice work there defensively to force incompletion. Now, even though this drive started in plus territory, they're still not in field goal range yet. So they can work towards another couple of stops and not allowing that turnover to hurt.
He'll try again with the arm here on second down. And he's going to be intercepted for the third time thus far. Picked up by Devin Witherspoon. And the Seahawks are going to take over here up near the 40. Well, we saw plenty of that during his much-heralded college career. He parlayed that into becoming a first-round selection. And now here he is making interceptions in the National Football League.
And this is a guy that has all the physical tools, but the thing that sets him apart is what he's got between his ears. And that's the sixth sense for knowing where the football is going. Just an excellent play there to create the turnover.
Well, sometimes that option can get bogged down before the gears really even get into motion, and I think that's what we saw there.
And I think what he saw a defensive end right in his face because he looked up and he was right there. Didn't even have a chance to get going.
Give them 4 on the carry there, but that only takes them back to where they started. 3rd and 10.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Catch is made by Metcalf. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Walker now on 1st and 10. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And he's going to be met at about the 43. After getting stuffed on 1st down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
Well, a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the 3rd quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. Charles, even as long field goals become more and more common, this is still very rarefied air. Only just over 20 field goals have been kicked from 60 yards or further, and you can add his name to the list now.
And as calm as he tried to present himself, there's no doubt there were some nerves as he lined up to attempt that kick. But once the ball was snapped, he just swept the leg and boom, over the crossbar.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot... And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Quandre Diggs. And what a return as he brings this one all the way back to the 25-yard line. And that was a young pup, the rookie, being intercepted by a veteran DB.
And I loved our quick conversation in pregame with him on the field, where he said, hey, look, I love playing these young quarterbacks. They don't know a whole lot yet, so I can use my mind to put me in a position to make a play.
That stop made by Jack Campbell.
But really, that was no surprise there. They've been running it well all game, and I know goals change all the time, but any team will take that type of run each and every time.
On 2nd down, it's Walker. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. 130 yards rushing for him now as this sensational afternoon continues. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Now Smith. Flush to his right. And he wisely will throw that one away.
And here you're down in the red zone. You need to be smart, not force anything. So that's a wise decision to just get rid of the football.
We sit in quarter number 3 out in Seattle. A 2nd and 10 now. Straight ahead, Walker. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Here's the give to McIntosh. And they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line. We have played 3 quarters. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we'll begin it with a field goal try here. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. Myers' kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
And he'll be dropped at the 21-yard line, so bringing it out of the end zone proves not a good decision, loses him about 4 yards. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Hooker. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Jamal Adams. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line.
Up the middle, here's Walker. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. That time they're able to bottle him up, but he's having a really nice game.
I agree with that. In the Hall of Fame, had carries where they didn't gain yardage or they lost yardage, but you stick with them, don't you? When they're having a good game, keep feeding them.
5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 or the 12. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Up the middle they run. It's Walker. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 143 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. From the 5, 2nd and 4. Now it's Smith off the bootleg. He'll buy some time right. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play. 3rd and 7 now. So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. On 3rd down, here's Walker. And he will not be able to get the first as he can get this only down to the 5. It'll be a gain of 4, but it won't be enough. It leaves him with a 4th down now. Myers' kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So they got the turnover started with great field position, but in the end, the defense able to hold firm, and they only get 3 out of it.
And I like what you said right there. That defense able to hold firm, backed up into the shadow of their own end zone. The goalpost right behind them. They had to make sure they didn't give up the 6. And, boy, they came through in a big way. To them, even though they gave up 3, that's a win for their side.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Dancing to his left. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Uchenna and Wonsu got the sack there.
Let's go now.
Here's 2nd and 10. Back to throw. Hooker. It's caught inside the 25. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. Off play action. Hooker. And that is caught. Well, they're going to see this one to the end. They get a score, but pretty much an exercise in futility right now. Still down big. And CD, they just haven't had a whole lot to cheer about here. But it may be cliche, but give them credit for this. They've continued to fight and scratch and claw, and they get the touchdown here in the 4th quarter.
And I'm okay with that cliche, all right? Maybe it'll alleviate the sting a little bit because at least they can look in the mirror and realize they fought all the way through. Horrible game for them, not one they'll want to remember, but at least they'll keep their heads up and have some pride when they leave this stadium.
From the end zone, here comes Eskridge. Oh, good return up past the 30. Past midfield. Dwayne Eskridge.
I know the special teams coach will not permit himself a smile here, but inside, he's glowing. This is what he practices for. This is what he schemes. This is what he watches tape to put himself and his team in a position to score points. An absolute dream return.
On the handoff, this is Walker. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. 161 yards rushing for him now on 17 carries.
Again, idea. Let's skip racing to the airport at the end of this game. Let's go to the post-game press conference. I have a feeling that the quarterback of this winning team is going to be given a whole lot of credit to the running game and the offensive line.
Yeah, I was just going to say the offensive line, yes, carrying the ball has been key, but those guys up front, they've made a lot of space.
Here we go, here we go.
Charles, a lot of happy faces heading into the tunnel as this one ends, and understandably so. Not only did they get the win, but boy, their offense was on fire in this ball game.
And partner, I have no idea what the top speed is on one of those high-end sports cars. What's the top gear you can get into? This offense, they certainly were there in this one, huh? Everything clicking for them in this contest, the kind of performance that they're going to cherish.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. It's a win for the Seahawks here as we say so long from Seattle.